There's one 10-letter word that has dominated my life, dominated my marriage, my businesses, my hockey teams. It's dominated my mindset, my behavior. It's one simple 10-letter word that literally has helped me transform my entire life, my entire professional life, and helped me serve thousands and thousands of men like you. This one 10-letter word I'm going to share with you today, and the massive impact it can have in your life if you will add it consistently to your daily vocabulary. Michael McLean, brassballsvideos.com. I'm an ex-professional hockey coach, ex-amateur championship hockey coach, turned 8-figure entrepreneur. I'm a husband, a father, and a small business owner, just like you. You can actually download a free copy of my brand new book below. The link is right here, brassballsvideos.com. 5 ways to unfuck your life in the next 30 days. Admittedly, this book is not everybody's cup of whiskey. It's for champions, not for chumps. It's for kings, not neutered poodles and house cats. Link is below, brassballsvideos.com. So this one word has been literally, I have 2 favorite words in the English language. And one of these words, of course, is no, N-O. And this other word has dominated my life. They're the 2 words that have had the most impact in my life as a husband, as a father, as an entrepreneur, and as a coach or community service person. And this word, this one 10-letter word, I use it every day in my writing. I use it every day in my coaching. I use it every day with my 11-year-old daughter, Emery. I use it with my secret weapon queen wife, Krista. I eat, sleep, and breathe this 10-letter word. And what I love about this word is you almost never hear it. This 10-letter word is literally cussing or swearing to normies. So if you're a normie, if you're ordinary, average, mediocre, if you're an excuse maker, a whiner, a complainer, if you're like 99% of the population now, if you're a volunteer victim, this 10-letter word actually horrifies you. It literally horrifies you because it eliminates all excuses, it eliminates all finger pointing, it eliminates all victimhood. So admittedly, this word is not for the 99.9%, Joes and normies of the world, the great unwashed. This is a top 1% word that I've used in my life for over 2 decades. And it's transformed my marriage, it's transformed my marketing, my money, anything and everything in my life that I wanted to accomplish. Any of the areas that I was failing in, I was struggling in. When I applied this one 10-letter word, everything seemed to eventually turn around and go my way. And when I tell this 10-letter word to the normies, or the Jills and Joes, they want nothing to do with it, right? It's unpopular advice. I'm like, if you use this 10-letter word in your life, everything's going to get better fast. But it is for top 1% men and some women. So I knew that this 10-letter word was so powerful 20 years ago when I was coaching hockey that I made it part of my wardrobe. I literally made wristbands. I made ball caps. It was on the sleeve of my golf shirts that I gave to my mastermind guys. It was on t-shirts. I signed my emails, of course, with this one word. I wanted it to be omnipresent in my life. You know how forgetful we are as men in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, that I just wanted this word to be omnipresent, so I saw it every day. I write it every day. I see it on my wrist every day. It's on my back. It's on my ball caps. And then I took it into the hockey business, and the last championship team that I won with in 2019, my Barclay Cup champion Perth Blue Wings, every trainer, every volunteer, every athlete, every coach, every assistant, everybody had this word on their wrist. Everybody had this word on the back of their shirt. Everybody had this word on the sleeve of their team jacket. And then I took this 10-letter word into the insurance business for 17 years, where we worked and eventually became the #1 producing agency in the country. And once again, on the sleeve of the Nike golf shirts, I would write it with all my emails, team messages. You couldn't get away from it. It was up on the kitchen wall. It was up on the locker room wall. It was in my insurance office, my hockey office. And then when I entered the barbershop business, I did the same thing. It was like it became part of the culture of the barbershop. My barbers used the word. They had the wristbands, the ball caps. It was everywhere. Couldn't get away from it. It was basically the theme for our business. It was the theme for our hockey team. It was the theme for my insurance company. And then I've used it over the last 20 years coaching men like you. It boils down to my theme. Like I use things like, badass and brass balls, and those are all very important and accurate words. But this one word is the one 10-letter word that's dominated my personal and my professional life. And when I tell this word to top 1%ers, to champions, to builders, to lions like you, they're just like, wow, I got to make that omnipresent in my life. I got to think about that. I got to talk like that. I got to write like that. I got to have that shirt. I got to have that wristband. I got to think and behave like that. And then, of course, admittedly, when I tell it to the 99%, if somebody sees my wrist or they see my shirt or whatever, and literally it's like crickets. It's like they don't get it, right? Normies, you got the iPhone junkies, you got the digital dementia people, you got all these, pretenders and victims and cupcakes and snowflakes. When I tell them this 10-letter word, it's actually pure comedy. They just have no interest. It's a swear word. It's a cuss word. Why would you ever want to have that mindset? Why would you ever want to put that kind of pressure on yourself? So really a difference between the 99 and the 1%. So what is this 10-letter word that's transformed my life and my business over the last 2 decades? What's the 10-letter word that literally has allowed me to build a world that I don't need to escape from? What's the 10-letter word that has literally put me in a position where I am in a safe harbor financial position? I'm working my way into the best physical shape of my life. My marriage is back on fire. I have a special connection with my 11-year-old daughter, Emery, and I get to coach elite, generous, and driven men like you. What's the 10-letter word that's kept me focused on that task? So that literally when I put my feet on the floor every morning and I pray to my Creator and give thanks for all the opportunity I have, what's the 10-letter word that keeps me in focus? When I have the critics, the doubters, the haters, the setbacks, the frustrations, what's the 10-letter word that keeps me focused? That 10-letter word is here on my wrist. I have to pull this back. It's on the back of my shirt. But if you can see that, it's in It's in the white. It's been on my wrist actually for 11 years. Never has that been off my wrist. I had it. Doesn't make any difference whether I'm in a suit, whether I'm at a wedding, whether I'm in the pool, whether I'm at the beach. There it is, relentless. The 2 words I use with my email signature to you, be relentless. Every one of these videos I end with the 2 words that changed my life, be relentless. The 2 words were that I put together, of course, with my Barclay Cup Championship hockey team. Everywhere the kids went, be relentless. I remember walking into the locker room with the final period before we won our championship, and there was an air of pressure. There was an air of almost choking, would be a good example. Like we had to squeeze. That last period is the toughest period to win in a sport. And we had played fancy free up till then. And here we are 20 minutes away from a Barclay Cup championship, and we could feel it in the hallway. Could feel our players, flinching. We could feel the pressure, and we had a 4-1 lead. And I'll never forget, I was about to walk into the locker room when one of my incredible assistant coaches, Jeff Jordan, who coaches in the American Hockey League now, 1 level from the NHL, he stopped me and he said, "Coach, what's the message going to be?" And I mean, I'm the head coach, I'm the owner. Usually Jeff doesn't stop me. I said, well, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get them up. I'm going to get them motivated, get them inspired. I'm going to light a fire under their pants. And Jeff looked at me and he said, "Coach, do the opposite of that." He said, the last thing these young men need is more gasoline, more fuel. He said, there's more than enough pressure here to make that diamond. He said, what they need to hear from me, respectfully, is keep doing what you're doing. What they've been doing and the message that we've been bringing these young athletes has worked to get us into a position with a 3 games to 1 lead. And we're 1 period away from winning our first championship in 23 years. He said, that's the message they need to hear. They need to hear a message, play to win. They need to hear the words, play offense. They need to hear the words from you, relentless and be relentless. He said, that's what they need. He said, if we go in there and we say, defend this or protect that, or play not, he said, if we give the energy and the message of, like most men live their lives playing not to lose or playing small. Most 99% of men now play small. They play not to lose instead of playing to win. Jeff said, if you go in there and you tell those guys, balls to the wall, be relentless, keep doing exactly what we're doing, focus on the process, 25 shifts in 20 minutes. He said, when you look up at that clock an hour from now, we'll all be very happy. And it was an incredible teaching moment and coaching moment because I collected myself, and that's exactly the message I gave our players. I said, play to win, be aggressive, be relentless, and keep doing what you're doing. I told them what to do, not what not to do. And it's interesting, a 4-1 lead became 4-2, 4-3. And that's normal because the team is pushing hard. They're facing elimination on the other side. And it's to be expected. But at 4-3, we didn't flinch. At 4-3, we didn't choke. At 4-3, we didn't look up on the crowd. We were playing on the road. We didn't worry about the referees. We didn't worry about the other team. We didn't worry about the fans and all the noise. All my guys did was focus on one thing, being relentless, winning shifts. And at that point, I had my assistant coach yelling out the shifts for the whole 20 minutes. He'd be like, when we'd win a shift, 1-0, 2-0. And at that point, he said, when it was 4-3, there was something like 6 minutes left. And my assistant coach was like, we need to win 12 shifts. That's all we talked about, playing to win, playing offense and winning shifts and being relentless. And it was amazing. We didn't flinch. We didn't choke. We didn't take our foot off the glass. We didn't distract ourselves with things that were outside of our control. We controlled the controllable. And the final score of that game was 6-3. We scored one more time, a couple of goals into an empty net, and we were crowned Barclay Cup champions in 2019 for the first time in 23 years. It would not have happened without that 10-letter word, relentless. And I remember walking into the room and pointing to I lifted up my suit jacket, and I said, that's the one thing we need to continue. Relentless. They heard it every practice. They heard it every video session. They heard it in the gym. They heard it between periods. Be relentless, 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 relentless. And forget about things that you can't control. Forget about controlling the uncontrollable. The scoreboard is always 0-0. And I've taken that into my real life with this 10-letter word. When my feet hit the floor, I'm always like, first up, first place. And after I'm done praying, giving my gratitude prayer, the score is 0-0. And then I stack the wins in the morning. So, I drink some water, 1-0. I pray, 2-0. I walk for 70 minutes, 3-0. I read for an hour, 4-0. I do some copywriting, 5-0. And I just keep stacking up the W's all morning long. Some days I get to 10-0, 15-0, whatever. But it's all about that theme of relentless, relentless, relentless. It does not matter how I feel. It does not matter what I'm thinking. My emotions have nothing to do with it. You see all these weak men around us, right? With their manufactured mental illness, their sadness, their pity, the victimhood, their cupcakes, their snowflakes. They're neutered house cats is what they are. And they're ruled by their feelings. Well, Michael, I didn't feel like walking today. Michael, I didn't feel like going to the gym. Michael, I didn't feel like reading today. I didn't feel like dating my wife this week. And that's a weak man, mental weakness, emotional drunkenness, I call it, emotional drunkenness. And if you're ruled by your emotions and your feelings, you're a weak man. In other words, you're like a 10-year-old school child. I mean, it's natural for children to be ruled by their emotions and their feelings, but it's not okay for a man, a grown man, a husband, a father, a grandfather, a CEO, an entrepreneur. It's not okay. You need to be ruled by your values, by your mission, by your goals, and by your life purpose. When I don't feel like doing something, I just think about my mission. I think about my values. I think about my purpose on this earth, and then I get to work. It doesn't matter if I'm sad or I'm depressed or I'm anxious or I'm stressed or I'm lonely or I'm sad. None of that stuff matters. It never even comes into the equation. I'm just, okay, will this move me closer to my goal, my mission, my purpose? Yes, and then I do it. I put my shoes on and I walk. I drink the water. I sit down and write the copy. I read the book. Will this move me closer to my mission, my life purpose, my goals, my vision for my life? Will this move me closer? This one thing I don't want to do? If the answer is yes, I do it. And it doesn't matter how I feel. And then it gets done. That's how you build your personal integrity. You want to build your personal integrity and your mental health and your mental toughness? Stop breaking your word to yourself. Stop lying to the man in the glass. I mean, guys who are struggling in any area, I'm always like, you don't show up. If you're struggling in any area of your life, it's not because you don't have the talent or the ability, and it's not because you don't have the education. Most guys don't have an education problem. They have an application problem. They can't apply it day after day like I can. I mean, you've got more talent, more ability than I do, but I don't miss. I'm out here shooting a video on the track here on the bugs. I mean, I don't particularly want to do all these things today, but I don't miss. And I wear my competition out and I wear my competition down because I know they'll miss. And that's why it's the greatest time in history to be alive, because in consulting and coaching, I'm competing with weak men. I'm competing with people that are soft as shit. So there's no excuse for me not dominating, because anything I want to do in 2024, there's unlimited wealth, unlimited opportunity, unlimited abundance. But the other thing is, it's never been easier to be great because everybody around you is so weak. Cupcakes, snowflakes, you can't tell me you have any competition. If you're struggling in an area of your life, you're the competition. You're the problem. You're the man. The problem is the man in the glass. It's not education. It's not competition from outside people. You just can't show up. So once you become relentless, once you take this 10-letter word and you make it omnipresent in your life, and it can be any other word, but for me, relentless is the word. Relentless is the word. Then, you don't have any competition and you're going to run over people. I tell my 11-year-old daughter every day, there's no excuse for not dominating because there's no competition. But there's also no competition for 50-somethings, 60-somethings, 70-somethings. There's no competition. It's never, ever, ever been simpler or easier to be great than now, because everybody is soft as shit. Everybody's a victim. Everybody's a cupcake. Everybody's a pretender. Everybody's lying to themselves. Everybody is breaking their word to themselves. All you have to be is relentless and keep your word to yourself. Apply that to anywhere, any area of your life, and you'll fucking run over people. You'll run over your competition, and you should. So I'm starting up one of my infamous masterminds. I took a year off. I'm thinking of starting up another mastermind. The only thing, like, masterminds changed my life. I'm a big mastermind guy because they changed my life. Like Bill Glazer's $30,000 mastermind changed my life. Being part of Dan Kennedy's $30,000 mastermind a year changed my life. And I love coaching. It's my obsession. My mission is to coach elite, generous, and driven men. So I love writing newsletters. I love shooting these videos. I love that stuff. But I have to admit, I absolutely am obsessed with coaching in a mastermind. It's almost like coaching hockey. It's almost like coaching skating. It's almost like coaching sports. So I'm going to put 25 elite men together, husbands, fathers, grandfathers, entrepreneurs, and I'm going to put together, starting in August, a mastermind. There'll be only one group. Everything will be under it: email millions, my newsletter, everything. We'll have a training every second week, and we'll have 2 live events. I'm going to have 2 live events every 6 months as part of it. You don't have to pay anything extra in Florida, but it's going to be 25 elite men that help each other be relentless, that help us, stay on our mission, help us be seen, people you can talk to, you can relate to, friends for life. The 2 main focuses will be money making and marketing. Those will be the 2 main focuses over the year. It's monthly, so you don't have to put out $30,000 like I did. It's going to be $997 a month, $997 a month. There's no contract, there's no commitment. You can be part of it for 1 month, you can be part of it for 12 months, you can be part of it for 10 years. I don't care until I'm done doing it. So I don't need any commitment or anything like that. I just am going to start a waiting list to send information in a few weeks to anybody that could be interested. So if you're interested in my marketing and money making mastermind, it's $997 a month. There's no commitment to now. I don't care either way whether you are interested or not. But if you want more information, write brass balls in the comments below. 2 words, brass balls. And when you do that, I'll get my business partner, Sir Marc-Andre Leblanc, to send you the details in next week or whenever we get to it. And then you can decide hell yeah or hell no. I won't even know whether you say yes or no. And like I said, I don't care really either way. I just am going to cap it at 25 guys. So if this is something that you want to be part of, I love masterminds. I love being part of them. I love coaching them. They've transformed my life. I wouldn't be here walking without Bill Glazier and Dan Candy's mastermind. I became a millionaire when I got around guys that had 10 million, 40 million, 30 million. I became a better husband and father when I got around guys that were elite husbands and fathers. When I went in those 2 rooms, Glazier and Kennedy, for 30 grand, I was the weakest guy in the room. And 2 years later, 3 years later, I was one of the strongest guys in the room. That's the power of the mastermind. I wasn't able to take my life to the next level with books and newsletters. I was able to get to 6 figures, and I was bitching and moaning at the end of the dock one day, and my consulting company was only making 50 grand a year, and I was whining and complaining to my wife Krista one Sunday afternoon. This is before I went in Bill's mastermind and Dan's, and my wife couldn't listen to it anymore. She said, for fuck's sakes, if you want to be a 7-figure entrepreneur, you need to get in the room with 7-figure and 8-figure entrepreneurs. She goes, I'm tired of listening to you talk about how you're stuck, how nobody can understand you, how you're lonely in this world, all this other stuff. She said, go in there, put it on your credit card if you have to, the 30,000, go all in, burn the ships, and quit your whining and complaining and crying. And I have to give Krista all the credit. I went in there and put $30,000 on my credit card. I didn't have any money. I applied, I got into the mastermind, and I transformed my life in that first year. So much by being around those people. Like, I was around Russell Brunson, I was around all of these guys on the way up. And then the second year I renewed again, another 30,000, and I took my business from high 6s into 7. First $1 million year I ever had in my business career. I went from, way down at the bottom, 50 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. I got up to 100 and some grand, and then boom, 400 grand, and then consecutive years at $1.3 million, $1.4 million personal income. And I didn't have a hope in hell from books and newsletters. Like, I got to that level because I got in that room and I watched these guys, and I'm like, okay, here's a guy that makes 8 figures a year. I just have to do what he's doing, and I'm going to make 7 figures eventually. Here's a guy that is ripped and rare and cut and weaponized at age 50. This is what I have to do, walking and water. Like, I just modeled them. That's all I did. I just became a modeler of these already successful people. So I can't recommend it enough. Put brass balls in the comments if you want me to send you more information in a few days. That's it. You can download a copy of my free book, brassballsvideos.com. That link is also below. That's it. Remember, the 10-letter word that will change everything in your life. If you're struggling with motivation, inspiration, whatever it is, just start being omnipresent with that word. Remind yourself, relentless. Be relentless. And it's just amazing what you can accomplish, because in 2024, there's no competition. There's nobody else that's going to be relentless. You're going to be in a category of 1. You're going to be the only guy that's relentless in these areas of your life, and you're going to run over your competition. There won't be any competition. Be relentless. Think about it, talk about it, dream about it, write about it, and then every day execute. 10 letters, 1 word, relentless. 10 letters, one word, be relentless. 2 words that changed my life, 2 words that are going to change yours. Be relentless.